I didn't give my sister money for her wedding after she uninvited me. My sister Jenna called me 3 weeks before her wedding asking for $1,500. She said their wedding planner had screwed them over and they were short on money for the venue. I was about to say yes because, you know, family and all that, but then I remembered something. 2 months earlier, she had uninvited me from her wedding. Not because we had some huge fight or anything dramatic. She uninvited me because her future mother-in-law didn't like me. Apparently, I was too outspoken and made her uncomfortable at their engagement party when I corrected her about some random fact about dolphins. Yeah, dolphins. So when Jenna called asking for money, I just sat there on my couch eating cereal and listening to her explain how desperate they were. She went on for like 10 minutes about how this was her dream wedding and how everything was falling apart. The whole time I'm thinking about how I already bought a dress, took time off work, and was supposed to be her maid of honor before she decided I wasn't wedding material. I let her finish her whole sob story. Then I said, "That really sucks, Jenna, but I'm not invited to the wedding, so why would I pay for it?" The silence on the phone was so long I thought she hung up. Then she started backtracking like crazy. She said she was planning to re-invite me all along, that it was just a misunderstanding, that her fiancé Brad's mom had come around. Total lies. I knew because my mom had already told me they sent out final headcounts to the caterer, and I wasn't on the list. Jenna kept pushing. She said I was being petty and that family should stick together no matter what. She even started crying, which might have worked on me before, but I was done. I told her I'd think about it and hung up. The next day, my mom called. Of course, Jenna had run to her immediately. Mom tried to guilt trip me, saying I was ruining Jenna's big day over something silly. I explained the whole situation again, but Mom just kept saying I should be the bigger person. Easy for her to say since she was still invited. Then Brad called me. That was weird because we barely ever talked. He apologized for his mom and said he really wanted me there. He sounded genuine, but I knew this was just damage control because they needed my money. If they really wanted me there, they wouldn't have waited until they were broke to fix things. I decided to test them. I called Jenna back and said I'd give them the money, but only if I got a real invitation in the mail, not just a verbal promise. She agreed super quickly, which should have been my first red flag. A week went by. No invitation. I texted her asking about it and she said they were reprinting them and it would come soon. Another week. Still nothing. 3 days before the wedding, I texted her asking if I should bring the check to the ceremony. She replied saying there had been a mix-up and they had already finalized everything, so it would be too complicated to add me back now. But I could still give them the money as a wedding gift and maybe come to the reception if there was space. That's when I completely lost it. I called her immediately and told her exactly what I thought about her and her ridiculous wedding drama. I said if I wasn't good enough to witness her vows, then my money wasn't good enough for her venue either. She started yelling about how I was jealous and selfish. I hung up and blocked her number. The wedding happened without me and without my money. I heard through Mom that they had to downgrade their venue to some community center because they couldn't afford the fancy place anymore.